By the early 70s, America's 140-year-old prison system housed about 200,000 prisoners. It was beginning to be regarded as an institution of times past. Progressive notions of individualized rehabilitation, along with drug and mental health treatments, were lighting the new path of punishment. But then, in the aftermath of the civil rights movement, inner-city riots, and the anti-war protests of the 60s, conservatism regained a foothold at the power core of American politics that it retains today. The trend toward humanism and compassion gave way to fear-fueled crackdowns implemented to restore law and order.
In the 1980s, concerning whether or not we should criminalize drugs and increase the sentences and so on and so forth, experts came and gave the following warnings. Number one effect, you're going to fill up the prisons. You're going to have to build more prisons. Number two, you're going to be targeting black people and other minorities. Well, they didn't heed the warning.
They knew that drug treatment was effective. They knew that it would reduce drug addiction, reduce crime, reduce problems. But they also found to their glee that this was something that gave large political benefits to the Nixon administration by getting tough on drugs. And so they intentionally made that decision to punish instead of treat. And of course, we've been doing that through the Reagan administration and every other administration, basically except Carter, ever since that time. We have highly conservative federal judges who have been in tears apologizing to the defendants for giving them the number of years in prison that they have to, because that's the law. And the federal law requires that anybody sentenced for a drug offense must serve every day of his or increasingly her sentence. It's not true with regard to kidnappers, rapers, or murderers.
We're now #1 in the world in incarceration rate. We incarcerate more people, even greater than the incarceration rate of South Africa during apartheid.
We have too many people in prison altogether, and that is where the money comes into it.
Private prisons are there not to provide treatment or rehabilitation or any other traditional goal of prison. They're there to make a profit. That's number one.
A lot of people, yes, that run private prisons make contributions politically, and those contributions are felt. The Prison Guards Union, of course, is the strongest political lobby group in the state of California, and pretty much the strongest lobby group, as I understand it, in mostly every other state as well. People that build prisons, it's an enormously lucrative occupation. Do they make political contributions? Of course they do. So a problem is that we have is that money is much too important in politics today.
You take the case of Corrections Corporation of America, the biggest private prison industry in the world. Jan Brewer, the governor of Arizona, 2 of her top aides have direct ties with CCA. And CCA donated money to her campaign. And CCA operates 6 prisons between Phoenix and Tucson. And some of them are detention centers. And their contracts are with the Immigration Service. And they're filled to capacity.
People look at private prisons, and actually I have no problem with private prisons as long as those folks are not the ones that determine who goes there, how many people go there, and why. There is a movement now in California, in fact it's a legal movement, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal has said that we're going to have to release about 40,000 of our prisoners because of prison overcrowding. And people are getting frantic. The biggest resistance is, of course, the Prison Guards Union.
But then you also have the District Attorneys Association, you have the Association of Chiefs of Police, this is in California, Bail Bonds Association. They hire very expensive lobbyists. It's the same morality that operates within the capitalist system. The morality is that money is everything, and that even if human beings die or suffer, it doesn't matter because there's a morality of profits.